Hello everyone, my name is Damian Sharp. Welcome to Healing Waves, and this is the second part to my meditation, exploration, life experiences, and where it's led me. So, what I was talking earlier, because I started getting on a bunch of other things, was kind of the idea of meditating and coming out of meditation, seeing how you can bring that energy, that awareness into your daily task and the things you're doing, and still play with being at different paces, being fast, but still being connected and still having your breath move slowly. I was talking about running and how running it's very important to not be matching your movement, and because you're going to shallow breathe and you're not going to be able to make it very long. You don't get enough oxygen. So learning to still have that breath go deep and be connected and bring in the oxygen, getting all that exchange going on as your body's maybe going really quick, or you're power walking, or you're doing HIIT training, which is a little more challenging to do that. So so for me, I was meditating at this stage, this is still 18, 19, and I was doing some Buddhist mantras. I learned, like, I would go to workshops, different things, learn different meditation. I would try that for a while. I would sometimes incorporate that into the mantra, into the other things. So I kind of took all these things, mixed them up together. I'd hear about a new one, like the spoon bending one, and I did that for a while. It was very elaborate. I wasn't trying to bend spoons. I just found the meditation very, very interesting. So I've done lots of different meditations, did those, and it took a while for me to kind of, it was slow, but I started connecting into the in-between. So in between the time of me meditating, so especially if you're doing a mantra, if you've done mantras or you're doing a certain kind of procedure, like breathing here, breathing there, I noticed that eventually I forgot what I was doing, would even forget I was saying the mantra, or even if I was saying the mantra, that's like a part of me doing that, but there's a part of me that's expanding and connecting even deeper, and it's this kind of a big expansive relaxation, kind of like floating in the ocean water and being completely supported, warm ocean water. This is kind of cold, and I noticed those moments of that, and the one thing I did notice about that, sometimes when I would get into those moments, I'm relaxing, I'm settling, I'm connecting deeper, that a little bit of anxiety or stress would come up. I would be thinking about things like, oh, I got to wash the dishes. Oh, what am I going to, I got to pick up my son at this time. Well, not at that time really, but eventually. I mean, these are just whatever my things were that were going on. I got to be at work in 20 minutes. What am I going to make for dinner? All these things would come up, and I'd have to go back to the mantra or the practice that I was doing, or the visualization, or just the awareness of the breathing, and connect again. And then I would kind of settle into that. But it was that point of kind of settling in and kind of dropping in that felt so good, that felt like coming home. And I wanted more of that. And so I was doing all these different meditations, in a sense, to get to those little tiny moments. That's what it started working for me. I think in the beginning it was just to learn to breathe slower, chill out, and take a minute with myself, or even 20 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, whatever your meditation time is, it's all good. And so I noticed that, and so where it kind of progressed for me is I started noticing that the most challenging meditation for me was to just breathe and be, just to sit and breathe and be with myself. So I eventually created breathing and being meditation. And I'm sure other people are doing this exact same thing and have other names for it. But for me, it was the exploration of trying many meditations, trying things that were, in a sense, busied my mind so that I could relax in my body. And even busied my mind enough that there's like a level of my mind that could kind of relax and expand and And so I started wondering, like, do I really have to busy my mind to relax? Do I have to distract myself to connect deeper? Because that's what it started feeling like. I was always distracting myself so that I could try to connect deeper for a moment, then distract myself from thinking. And so, I mean, Ram Dass talks about like your thoughts are like clouds in meditation, so you're not really attaching to them. That's the way I took it. So I would practice that too. And what I started noticing with breathing and being, the basics of breathing and being meditation, is that you sit, you breathe, easy, deep breaths, and you sit, or you can lay down, you can be in any position. I like sitting in a place, or being in a position where my back can move. So if I'm breathing, I can do, if you've heard of Yes Breath, which Gay and Katie Hendricks teach. Look that up, Yes Breath, Gay Hendricks. There's some YouTube videos, it's great. So you can, in a sense, your spine can move, your body can move. So you're not sitting back on a chair. And even if you're laying down on the floor, and even if you are sitting on a chair, just be available for your body to move and your spine to move. You don't have to be straight and stiff. Because breath is bringing energy and life into your body, and your body will probably want to respond and move with that. So breathing and being, sitting for me was probably the best. I've done it laying down. So just breathing in, easy breaths, connecting and exhaling. And there's many visualizations and other things you do, but the basics of what I was doing was, I am doing is playing with just actually breathing and being with myself and noticing what comes up. So can I continue to breathe and be and just settle into myself and let the things that come up, experience them and come up and go and flow through. I'm not really spending a lot of time thinking about all these things, anything that comes up. But what I started noticing when I was doing this, where it gets so hard, is those things that come up, like I got to clean the grout in my kitchen, which I'm not going to clean the grout in my kitchen. I mean, I seriously had this once. The grout in my kitchen is dirty. I'm not going to clean it today. I probably won't even clean it this month. And who knows when I ever will. But I'm thinking it now so that I can get out of this meditation, or I can, whatever it is, and I'm getting distracted by this thought. And then I'm like, okay, that's silly. I don't even have a judgment of it really. I'm just like, oh, that's a thought, it's a cloud, I let it go by. Then it comes up again. And then it comes up, and I do the same thing, and then it comes up again. So I know 3 is a charm, but whatever number it comes, I notice when the same thought's coming up, I got to pick up the kids, I got to do this, I'm never going to get my dream house, how am I going to ever get my business off the ground, whatever it is, meditation, silly, why do I have to do this? Whatever it is that you're thinking, that thought keeps coming up. And so what I notice is that I don't want to run from that. I'm not here sitting, breathing and being, trying to run from anything in my being, anything that is me right now, or that is in my sphere. So I started asking, which I learned from Gay and Katie Hendricks, these questions like, what is underneath? So as this thought's coming up to clean the grout, I'm asking, what is underneath? And then I'm breathing, being with that, not avoiding thought, not pushing it away, just asking that thought. You can pretend like it's a thought. It's a thought, or that part of me, that part of you. What is underneath this? And so for me, often I get an image. Sometimes I get words, and sometimes I just get a feeling. And so, like under the grout, there's this. It's very often it's the same feeling that came up for me quite a few times with this kind of stuff, with like busy work, was that I didn't feel like I was enough. I felt like I have to prove myself. And so then it's like, again, yeah, that's the story that I created. What's underneath? I'm asking again, what's underneath that? You're going to a core emotion. You're going to a core expression. I like core emotion. It could be something else for you. So, and then there's this feeling of sadness. And then I had imagery around the sadness of not feeling felt or seen as a child in certain times in my life. Not that my parents were horrid or anything. They were wonderful people. But there's these times when I felt unseen or disconnected, and I felt sad. And I was like, and then I realized there's that story too. Let's let that go, let that be, and say, how do I feel? I feel sad. What's underneath that sadness? What's underneath that sadness? And so there's not really anything underneath. That was the core thing for me, was that sadness. So if I need to feel it or whatever, a lot of times you can just breathe in. And that's why letting go of the story is great, because the story could be traumatic. And you could try to relive the story, thinking you have to relive a story or a trauma to let go of something. And what I've found is that you can actually let go of things that you even gained through trauma, that were even protecting yourself from getting hit or from whatever, that you don't have to reenact that trauma. You don't have to, you can actually feel that body wanting to tighten up, and you can give yourself a new option. Realizing that you're safe, you're an adult, you're putting yourself in safer situations now. You have the ability to do that now. You're not a child, and you're here, and you're safe, and there may be something that comes up to you, but how can you still be aware and be in your own space, but kind of relax around that? If it's someone's anger at a grocery store that triggers that anger that was a parent of yours, how can you not close to it and tighten to it, but actually receive it and say, oh, that's anger. I feel that they're angry. You know, I am in my own body. I'm protected. I'm here. And in a sense, that awareness and that availability that you've created from not confining up will give you more of yourself to actually, in a sense, know where you stand in your boundaries, so that someone can't step in to where it's not appropriate for you, where it's not good for you. And ultimately, it's not good for them. So yeah, so that more awareness. Where was I going with those? I feel like, okay, so those thoughts will come up as you're doing the exercise. And I see we're at 12 minutes, 30 seconds. And I'll have some examples of doing that. One at a beach. I live near a beach, so I go to the beach a lot. And I have another one that's just a recording. That's a little longer, that goes into, explores it more. It's on my website, DamienSharp.com, and you can go there and just sign up for the news, for the updates, and you get a free copy of it. And I think there might be a place that just says, want a copy of it. And you could also buy it for 99 cents. So I give you a lot of options. So that's the breathing and being meditation. That's kind of where my meditation brought me. And who knows what will bring me next. I'm in the process of recording a 30-day kind of series of breathing and being meditation, and sharing what my experiences are, and hoping that other people will share what their experiences are. And I've been playing with it being a 5-minute, 10-minute meditation, depending on the sitting, because I know it's interesting to play with the different time frames with that. So within the breathing and being meditation, I want to say the last thing about it. You can always do all the other things that you wanted to do. You could spend, the breathing and being meditation is not the one meditation. It can be something you add on. So if you are doing a Buddhist meditation, you're doing a visualization meditation, there's some meditation you do all the time, Vipassana meditation, you can decide, I'm going to spend 5 minutes doing the breathing and being meditation. And notice that, because notice the challenge of that for you. It may not be challenging for you, but it really brought up any kind of urgency, any kind of anxiety. I use urgency more than anxiety, because we didn't really have anxiety when I was a kid as an expression as much, but I understand urgency. But I realize now that it's kind of it's the same thing. The sense of urgency, the sense of anxiety is coming up. And it's coming up in these areas that when I'm relaxing deeper and connecting deeper, and I'm opening these little doorways of in my body that have been tight, and that they have something they want to express. They have a gift, and they have also, they need some attention. And so we can give them some basic attention. If you have a loved one or a friend even our massage therapist, and it's an area of your body and you've been playing with it, you can ask them to give it attention. If you know someone that does energy work, especially your partner, it's great for your partner you guys can share that. They can share just putting their hands in that area and just inviting openness and love and connection. So though this is great for you connecting with yourself, you can use all these things to connect even deeper with your partner and your family, anybody.